Hello once again, YouTube! I am back once more with yet another UU battle. This time against someone off of Smogan's Wi-Fi Battle Finder. So I'd like to start this off with asking for suggestions of nifty little Pokemon that you think don't get enough time in the limelight and would like to see me used, as well as ask for some challenges so that I don't have to rely on Smogan and my roommates. But, with that aside, go over the teams really quick. I return with the Cradily that won me last match, as well as a balanced walling Suicune, event 1, so that I can have Aqua Ring and the like. A Bibarel, because I find them hilarious. Spinda, Contrary, one of my favorite little Pokemon, who does a bunch of work this battle, hint hint. A very, very strange little Embor, and one of my favorite leads I've created, a Frostlass. Whereas my opponent has a Rotom Heat, an Empoleon, Deoxys Defense, which I actually found quite intriguing to face since I never have before, a Weavile, which as you saw from my last battle can kick a good bit of ass, a Roserade, which usually causes me a lot of trouble, and a Kingdra, which actually had me rather afraid going into this. But without any further ado, here is the match. And here begins the battle. As you saw in Team Preview, he leads off with Rotom, where I lead off with the wonderful Frostlass. He immediately opens up with a trick on and a Choice Scarf, which really kinda sucks, because it ruins my usual strategy with this Frostlass, which is to Destiny Bond away their lead when they kill it after activating the Focus Sash. But it still allows me to use the Choice Scarf and put up a second layer of spikes before he hits me, now that he's lost it. And since apparently he has absolutely no special attack investment, it doesn't kill me with the Thunderbolt, and I get yet another layer of spikes up afterwards. So all my spikes are up. Yukiona did enough. I would have liked to have killed something with it, but it works. Bring out my wonderful little Bibarel, and unfortunately his life is cut quite short, as you'll see in but a moment. I do survive the first Thunderbolt, because, as I said, this Rotom apparently has almost no investment, and immediately get off a +4 through a simple boosted Amnesia, which is huge and usually allows this thing to become almost a sweeper in its own right, but unfortunately it doesn't work. Opponent gets cocky and goes for a hidden power here rather than the stab move, leaving me alive with 2 so I can smack him back with a waterfall, which I found hilarious. I really did. Unfortunately, though, since I hadn't had a chance to curse as I usually would, even with stab and super effective, it doesn't kill him. Oh well, things happen. Quick attack lets me get another chunk of damage off before the hidden power finishes me. Because even with +4, 24 health is almost nothing. Following in the wake of my Bibarel, though, is lovely alcoholic the Contrary Spinda. Dark Gem boosted Sucker Punch means this Rotom is absolutely screwed, and goes down quite thoroughly. But here comes the Spinda I was fearing from the beginning. Spikes take out a huge chunk of it, which made me very happy, as he Dragon Dances, usually a very frightening prospect, but kind of just made me laugh, because I at the same time used Trick Room, meaning he effectively just did a curse without the defense boost, which is hilarious. I Superpower, which isn't bad, high base power even if no stab, and yet a free bulk up off it since I'm Contrary. The bulk up means that this waterfall isn't going to do near as much as he'd hope even after the boost from the Dragon Dance, and leads me into hitting with a second Superpower. But here, min-maxing screws me over, as the Kingdra survives with what has to be half a health point. Which really sucks, because this is a Resto Chesto Kingdra, and he's now back at full. Which, if he were to do what he should be at this point, could quite possibly have completely screwed me. But he doesn't do the usual expected move, and instead switches out. He goes into his Deoxys Defense, Usually a good idea, you'd think, or bulky as hell and can take some physical hits. Problem is it can't hit back, and every hit I do gets stronger. And so he's really just kind of giving me free bulk ups for when other stuff comes out. The superpower did almost nothing, which is to be expected, and probably the real reason he switched. But after 3 attack boosts, and still under the Trick Room, my return's going to do a hell of a lot to this Deoxys. Puts up a layer of spikes, to be expected, but at this point I'm not caring much about entry hazards, I'm just beating the shit out of him. Twisted Dimensions return to normal, which means his Deoxys is going to go first with the Recover, and allow him to get another turn out of it, but he still hasn't hit me for anything, so it's no real care to me. The return smacks him pretty good. I do not believe he dies yet. Oh, no, I get a crit. Wonderful timing, because the thing probably could have been annoying just recovering before I could do anything. Weavile appears, and here's where this guy makes the worst play of the game, in my opinion, trying to low-kick a teddy bear. That is absolutely the lowest weight class for that move, and I have plus, I believe, 4 defense at this point, and so it did absolutely nothing, just kind of tickled me. 4 times super effective superpower destroys the Weavile, leaving Alcoholic here in a very good spot to smack this Roserate. Spike's doing some more work for me, and Sleep Powder. Damn it. I do not believe it's much of a worry still, but seeing as this is a special attacker, if he was being intelligent here, he could have really destroyed me because my special defense isn't boosted by superpower. But instead he sets up another useless entry hazard, and I get to punch it in the face. Plus 5 attack means it's gone, and I now have maximum... Or no, I don't... That was a return, wasn't it? No. But still, plus 5 attack is still more than enough to do a lot to almost anything. The Kingdra outrages, which if it still had its Dragon Dance might have done something, but since I just have more boosts off of killing everything else in his team, I survive it just fine. And the return OHKOs his Kingdra. But now an Empoleon, and as I stated earlier, the special defense in this Spinda is non-existent, so Scald takes me out. Now that the Trick Room's gone, I'm second, so bye-bye Spinda, you did a lot, thank you. As an answer to his Empoleon, I take out Arnold the Embor. Now this is actually a very strange little Embor, a special attacking variant with a Choice Scarf, because who the hell expects that? However, for moments like this with the special walls, I did give it the superpower as well. Because even with absolutely no investments, he has 229 attack and is more than enough to take out the average special wall. Empoleon goes down, since it's super effective and it's just plain destroyed. And this is now his last poke, completely dead. I win without ever having to go into either of my walls, and that is the game. See you all tomorrow, YouTube!